Hi, I'm Emmy Birch.
And I am Sandy Thornton, and this is the Take Us With You podcast.
Hey, Sandy, what's the Take Us With You podcast all about?
So glad you asked. In a sea of badness coming out of every news station, let's provide some light, laughter, and levity to this strange, strange time we are living in.
I'm so glad that we're going to be going with you wherever it is you're going. Thanks for taking us with you. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Take Us With You podcast.
So excited to be here with you, friends, near and far.
This is Emmy.
And this is Sandy.
And this is our first official episode.
And we're doing it. We're making it happen. All the dreams are coming true, Emmy.
So, Sandy, why do you listen to podcasts?
Oh, okay. Well, I feel like especially, and I've really ramped up my podcast listening this year in particular, even though I've had nowhere to go and no one to hang out with except for my family, also known as the roommates that live in my house. But whenever I am able to escape and go somewhere, I usually listen to them as I drive, which is the impetus for this podcast. And I listen to them, one, just sometimes to kind of fill the space of my car. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's, and a lot of times what I kind of gear myself towards are comedy podcasts. And I just feel like for me this year, it's been heavy in so many ways that sometimes I want someone else's perspective and I want to lighten the atmosphere, at least for the 20 minutes that I am living in that vehicle. What do you do?
That. So I once read a book called The Compound Effect. And somewhere in that book, the author, I think it's Darren Hardy or something along those lines, said something as if you were to listen to educational programming every time you got in your car, the average car ride would equate to something like a whole entire semester in college or a course worth of information.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I view the quiet time as an opportunity to grow and learn. So it started with educational podcasting, and then I'm kind of obsessed with running, and I listen to a lot of running podcasts. I can tell you every female professional runner and what they're training for and what their times are, and especially marathoners. I know all about them, and it's a blast. And from there, it kind of became a space where especially when I moved to Columbia to work on my doctorate and my husband stayed in Savannah, it became the people that I needed as a huge extrovert to fill the quiet. Just like you filled your car, I filled the void of when I walked in the house from a workout, who was going to talk to me while I got ready for work or for school.
Okay. So you use it's more than just a commute type of thing. Mm-hmm. You listen to them like as you prepare for the day, as you get ready.
It's kind of a relationship with a one-sided relationship, but it's kind of something to fill the void. I know it fills my extroverted soul, and I feel like I've been with people, so I have that energy going into the day. But I also am learning something, whether it's about music. There's a couple really great music history podcasts that I love, and I love to listen to those, especially when I have to go teach an introduction to music class or something. It just, invigorates the brain. So mine is a little bit different, but it's still filling a space. It might not be a car, although I do like listening to them in the car, but it is filling a void that I know energizes me for the day.
Yeah. I think that's good. And it does. It fills you with kind of little nuggets that you can take with you throughout the course of your day. Also, I've been doing a lot of listening for research purposes, just to kind of get us off the ground.
Yes.
So beyond listening for, content, I'm listening for structure as well. And we just got totally geeky here. Sorry, folks at home.
That's okay. I think it's important to know what you do and don't like when you listen. I love when there's an interviewed podcast that the the person being interviewed has the space to talk freely.
Mm-hmm. And it's an art form to do a good interview too. Girl, and I really listen to that.
So hard. It's so hard to listen to, but I know every time I listen to an interview I become better. Okay, I should have listened better there. I could have asked this. And I feel like the job of the person doing the interviewing is to really give that person a space to be open and to guide the conversation to the nuggets that the listener can
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
That's so flip, nerdy, heady stuff. Tell me about comedy podcasts. I cannot say that I have ever listened to one.
Oh, girl, this it's mayhem out there with what you could possibly listen to. So, okay, I first got started on podcasts listening to, I believe it's My Favorite Murder. So I know it's true crime. And the two co-hosts are Karen Kilgariff and Georgia Hardstark, and they are hilarious. So they are both like comedians in their own right, but I guess they were at a party one time back in the before times when we could meet together and not wear masks and not be afraid of our lives, the before times. And somehow it came up in conversation, like both of them had an equal obsession with true crime. So like crimes that have been committed over the course of history and how they were solved, and murder specifically. So a girlfriend of mine was like, you gotta listen to this. So I did. And I am not like a junkie. There are true crime murder junkies out there, right? Did you know that? Yes, it's a thing. That's not me, but I listen for their sharp wit and their banter together. And they're both like brilliant in their delivery. So they research their stories. So like today I'm going to talk about Jeffrey Dahmer, and here's the backstory, and here's what happened, and here's how we feel about it. And I don't know, I thought it was so interesting. Beyond that though, I also listened to this guy, Bridger Weiniger. He does this podcast called I Said No Gifts. And at first I was not quite sure how I felt about it. Because you know, when you listen to a podcast, there's usually that commercial break where they're like, you should listen to this because of this. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And so I heard his commercial. I'm like, this guy, he sounds kind of pompous. And I'm like, but now I'm intrigued. So I went and listened just because of the way his vocal inflection was. And he's hysterical, and he has on really great guests. Like Emma Thompson was on the last one. Yeah, like famous people. And the way he speaks, I don't know, you just got to listen to it. Because at first what I thought was an arrogance is not that at all. It's just a very interesting inflection that now I kind of think is great to listen to. I don't know.
People listen for all different reasons. I did prepare a couple jokes just for you.
I want to hear all these jokes because I found an article that I think is pretty amazing.
Okay, so we'll do jokes and then random news facts, and then we'll talk about the main content of the day. Look at us, folks. We have a structure. Okay, so joke number 1. What do you call a pile of kittens?
I do not know.
A meowton. I'm not very good at these. My dad is great at delivering these.
That's okay. I think your dad jokes are top notch. Keep going. Please.
I think I have a couple more. Why was the baby strawberry crying?
Oh, I don't know. Why?
Because her parents were in a jam.
Ah, yuck.
Okay, last one. This is my favorite one. I think I told it 3 times over Christmas break. Sometimes I tuck my knees into my chest and lean forward. Because that's just how I roll.
What kind of response did you get from your family when you laid jokes out for them?
Well, my dad does my dad uses all these jokes as like mic tests. He sings in like a praise band, and so they always do mic tests, and he had some really hilarious dad jokes. And some of them you're like, ooh, that's bad. And some you're like, oh, that actually has some potential. But his delivery is awesome. So this is when the tuck and roll joke is one of my favorites because I'm uber clumsy and I just fall all the time. And I said this joke and it took him a second. And then he kind of laughed. So I don't know where it was on his spectrum.
Hope he uses it the next time he does a mic test.
It's a perfect mic test. You have to say things like tuck and roll. Those are consonants and vowels for a mic test.
Yes. Yeah. I feel like all I've been doing this entire holiday season has been mic test after mic test because all I've been doing is making recording after recording for my own church. So
I'll have to get Dad, see if he can send me one of his favorite ones. He has some good ones. Okay, tell me what your random news fact is. I'm dying to know.
So I was trolling, and I always find the best stuff on Huffington, like HuffPost.
Yep.
Right. So here is the title of this. Illegal winery busted at Alabama town sewage plant.
Wait, hold on. We have to unpack this. Pause. First, did you say Alabama? Because we don't speak that state in the presence of LSU Tigers.
If there is going to be any sewage plant busted for an illegal winery, Alabama.
It would be in Alabama.
Alabama. Sorry, folks.
Sorry, we still love you. There's just some stuff going on with your football team.
I love your Gulf Shores. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so here's what it says. Rainsville, Alabama. Sheriff's officials say they busted an illegal winery that was operating in a municipal sewage plant in a small North Alabama town. Like, that's not going to happen near the Gulf Coast. That shit is
No.
up in like the wilds of
Oh, I'm
Alabama.
so sorry. Isn't that like Huntsville? Donna, I love you if you're listening. Huntsville, we love you,
Oh,
Huntsville. They're smart people.
oh yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
that's not to say that Alabama wins. What are they called? Alabamans. It's not to
Alabamians?
say that people from Alabama are not smart. That's not the
No,
case.
that's not the case. We just don't like your football team. Or the fact that you put why ruin the wine and put it in a sewage plant? Gross.
Like, what else is floating there? Ew. Okay,
Why
so
would you want to
more.
go tasting out of, ugh,
You
I
wouldn't.
just grossed myself
You
out.
wouldn't. You wouldn't. Okay, the
Okay.
DeKalb County Sheriff's Office said in a statement it received an anonymous tip about an alcohol operation at a municipal building in the town of Rainsville on Thursday. Municipal building, quotes. Okay. Investigators then uncovered what's described as a large illegal winery inside the Rainsville wastewater treatment plant. Like, I'm going to vomit in my mouth
Oh my
right
God,
now.
it's so gross. I mean,
There's
there's more. Oh God.
Oh, there's more. Yeah. Photos released by investigators show glass containers, buckets, a fermenting rack, and other equipment often used by people who make wine at home. The agency says, officers seized a lot of illegal alcohol and arrests are expected. Well, no kidding. I hope that there are going to be some people that are arrested.
Why did the winery homemaking kit need to leave your house? And
Right.
B,
Just do it in your basement like every other home, like brewer and vintner. Just do it
right.
at home.
B, why did you choose the sewage plant?
Why there?
Could you,
Exactly.
ugh.
Was there not a vacant warehouse somewhere?
Or
Like,
like, I don't know, electricity or something else,
Mhm.
another municipal building?
Yeah,
What other type of
the
municipal
Elks
building?
Lodge. Why didn't you do it at the Elks Lodge?
Right. I mean, come on. Go check out the like local
American Legion.
whatever. Yeah. Oh my gosh, the Legion by our house when you come visit.
I want to go. Okay, so when I was in college in Potsdam, there was an American Legion in this tiny little northern New York town where I got my undergrad degree, and we used to call it the Shangri Legion, like because they had the most amazing barbecue chicken dinners that they would do at least once a month, and college
Ours
kids
is
poor and drunk.
attached to a restaurant named Betty Bombers, and it's all like World War One, two decked out, and they make the best salad.
Now, you are not a member of the Legion. You are a member of your town's
Rotary. I'm in a Rotary club.
I was like, what is the group that you're a part of?
But it's not your grandpa's Rotary. Both
was
Spencer and I are in it.
So
Metropolitan Savannah Rotary Club. Shout out. Woot woot. Go blue. It's a bunch of, I think our average age is like 40 something. We're over 50% female, which is abnormal. And we call ourselves the worker bees. Instead of writing big checks, we do a ton of service projects.
Okay.
So
it's
designed for people in this part of their career where they're building and establishing, and a lot of people are having families. Like there's babies all the time.
Oh my God. I think that our club is definitely filled with many senior citizens.
We call that retro Rotary.
Yeah,
that's the downtown club here. Savannah Downtown Rotary. Woo! You gotta like die or something to get a spot in there. And don't you dare sit at someone's table. Like, oh my gosh, we used to go all the time for like different things for our not-for-profit. And I remember one time I sat at a table and I couldn't understand why these older gentlemen had this one color name tag on. And I was later informed, A, I wasn't supposed to have sat at that table. B, that's because they were like, I don't know, original members from like 1912.
Oh,
and, I mean,
that's from the war era.
Yeah, something like that. They've been in the club for as long
as
the
Daughters of the American Revolution.
Hey, don't lie. There's a huge one of those chapters around here.
Same.
Do you guys have the junior league?
Oh yeah, gosh, yes. That's a big thing. I feel like that is very widespread because growing up in Syracuse, I remember there being a very big junior league contingency.
I never had the desire to do that, but I do love my Rotary Club. I love my Rotary Club so much. We actually have a Rotary Club meeting next Tuesday. It's virtual.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing. Like, okay, so my dad and grandfather did Kiwanis.
Oh yeah.
I'm not a member of any organization of that nature yet.
But it goes all the way back to what we're talking about today. why do you listen to podcasts? Why do you join clubs and
Yeah,
organizations? My husband
true.
and I joined Rotary for different reasons. I wanted to meet people outside of music, and
Yeah.
he wanted to have more opportunities to do service projects.
Did you join at the same time, or was it one and then the other?
I joined first.
I love it. I love it. And then did you strong arm him, or did he
No,
go
he kind of
for
he
the
kind of
Rotary?
suggested it. He went to everything with me anyway because we're best friends. We do a lot of stuff together,
Yeah. Same.
obviously.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, he's like, "Why don't I just join?" Sorry, my dog is snoring. If you can hear him,
I can't even hear it, but that's
he got
amazing.
really comfortable resting his head on the keyboard.
It's good
Oh.
conversation, putting people to sleep. I'm
Yeah.
really loving this.
Okay, well let's talk about the next thing, the main point of today's conversation. It's almost the next year. It's New Year's.
Oh,
And
thank
what
God.
are you
Thank.
doing to prepare?
As of right now, I am only consuming things like coffee and wine and eating copious amounts of cheese. So doing really good job at setting my goals. That was a goal. And usually like, okay, so I'm sure you've all seen the meme. It's like that time between Christmas that I,
Mhm.
I, I celebrate Christmas and then New Year's. It's like this no man's land of like, what day is it? What's my
Mhm.
name? What time is it? What am I supposed to be doing? Like the first time in days that I've had something to do is tonight. Like, so I've
And
just been
this morning, like I was so excited about this and having something on the
this,
schedule.
I know, like, but up until now, I have had absolutely, I've been aimless. I've had
Mhm.
nothing to do,
But
nothing
that's
to do.
good
I keep
for
my
us.
family.
We should have that.
Yeah, yeah. So, yes, goals are being met. Very excited about that. But I realize like 2021 is coming and I've got to kind of kick something into gear. And it doesn't like, how everybody's like, I'm going to be so super healthy, new year, new me. That's
I
not how
don't
I,
do
like,
New Year's
yeah,
resolutions well. I just like to set
I don't
goals.
do this. Yeah. So I think I'm going to be developing some personal growth goals and
Yeah,
more book reading goals because I do love to read.
I
And
do too.
instead of watching the Great British Bake Off, maybe I could sit with a book instead of
But
binge.
you're still gaining so much great, valuable information in that British Bake Off. Holy
Yeah,
smokes.
yes, indeed. Like you are. I learned all about making crumpets last night. So yay me. Never
So,
gonna make.
you have a family, so I don't, these are
Yeah.
things beyond my grasp. I have one other human to deal with and two dogs, but we have already decided that tomorrow we have an afternoon of kind of going in separate places of the house and just doing our own type of brainstorming. We do not brainstorm the same way. We do not set the goals the same way. I am the
Okay.
rigid, over disciplined, kind of hard to live with. I don't know how he does it person. And he's kind of the, woo, look at us. We're doing fun stuff.
Doing
Really,
things.
yeah.
Make it.
But he has huge goals. So I
Yeah.
know he plans them. He just does it in his own way.
Yeah.
What do you
Exactly.
guys do?
Ken, my husband's name is Ken, generally doesn't do anything. And I make a very lofty goal list that I'm really great with in January. Like January is usually my jam and even part of February. And I don't actually count this year of 2020 because it was literally a dumpster fire. So,
Huge, huge
but
dumpster
I'm
fire.
hoping now that like I have my feet underneath me with this new normal that
Hmm.
maybe I can move forward and really focusing on because I love lists and I love to check things off of lists. And so I want to be able to check off like maybe read this amount of books from
Mm-hmm.
now until next New Year's Eve. So
Hey, question,
yeah,
honest. Do you ever write anything on your to do list just so you can simply check it off
yeah, like put on your glasses
and then
or
check it off? I
yeah,
found my
or
glasses for
take a shower.
computering.
Yeah.
I had lost these. I found them.
Hey,
They
well done
were
you.
in a suitcase that was not with me.
What?
I know, who knows? So
What are you doing? What
I
are your
haven't decided. I was thinking about this because I don't remember what goals I set in 2020. So I went back and looked in my journal
mm,
because I love journaling. And I had not really picked any. I think it was because I was in the middle of, I just graduated with my doctorate. I just moved back to Savannah. And the transition of moving from Columbia back to Savannah was just strange. It wasn't bad, it
yeah,
was just different. And I don't think I actually stopped and set goals because there was so much up in the air.
that makes sense.
Job hunting,
Yeah, I
getting
mean everything
established, all that.
flux. It's hard to kind of plow forward with a plan when
Oh, I
you're
was
just all of
suspending
these
from the
goals.
ceiling, not sure where my feet were going to come down. But like you said, my feet are underneath me. My socks are nailed to the ground, and I'm stoked with what I have ahead of me, work wise and career wise, and personally, and with athletic goals. There's lots of fun things ahead. I just want to kind of get them in writing because I don't think I did that.
Yeah,
But
I think that helps.
one of my friends, the lady who does my nails, she's like my mom here in Savannah, and she's known me since I was 22. She said, whatever you do on New Year's Day is what sets the tone for the rest of the year. So I was
Interesting.
thinking about what I was doing New Year's Day last year, and I can't remember it all. So
I don't.
this year, I already went in my calendar and blocked off time for the things I want to do New Year's Day. I want to do a great workout. I want to do a great read. I want to take a bath bomb bath. And I want to walk my
Mm.
dogs and cook something delicious. So it's all on the
I
calendar.
feel like that's a day well spent.
I'm also going to see my nail lady with my
Yeah.
mask on,
Good.
of course. But if I
Thank
see
you.
her on New Year's Day, I'm setting myself up for pretty hands all year long.
I think that's fabulous. Yeah. I don't know if I have anything that structured.
But
Definitely have
this is
some.
why we work well together.
That's true. We're going to get into that in a little bit. But also, why do we always think that it's January 1st has to be the start of these big thoughts? Like any day can be January 1st. Do you know what I mean?
I am a firm believer in that. I don't really, like I said, I don't set like resolutions. I'm not changing my whole diet or change. Like
Yeah.
these are all the things I want to do New Year's Day are just things I want to fill my life with in 21. They're not resolutions. They're just things I know make me a better person.
Yeah.
But I ditched the resolution things a few years ago. I think you can choose to restart any day you wake up because every day
Yep.
is a fresh start.
That's the absolutely true. I used to work with someone and she goes, today's a good day to have a good day. And that kind of stuck with me. Yeah. And I'm not good with, I always feel like if I say resolution, it's hanging over my head is this thing that if I don't accomplish it, I'm a terrible person. And that's not the case at all. Like, because
No.
things move in waves, things are always in flux. But like each day, if I can do one thing that is good for me, I feel like that is a successful day.
And it's okay to slip up. It's
Yeah.
okay to do something that you don't like. It's okay to eat a bunch of cheese and drink a bunch of wine.
Nachos are a thing, and I have been enjoying them. Yes.
I think it's important to give ourselves grace and space, but also know how to restart. And it's going to be
know that there's no shame in the restart either.
Like whatever makes you thrive isn't going to necessarily be my thriving space, but together we live life and have a blast talking.
Oh my gosh, so true. I love this time. Yay.
So let's wrap up today. I think we've given the listeners, we've kind of introduced it. We talked about some jokes. We had some random news facts.
Oh my gosh.
Shared something to make us better. Wine in a sewage plant. That is so
just
Let's
why.
not think about that. No. I'm going to go not.
If you're ever in Alabama, folks, check it. Rainsville.
Why do you think this is going to work? So our goal is to release at least an episode a month. That was our big lofty goal.
Yep.
Why do you think this is going to work?
I think that you and I offer, we get along very well, but we offer some different viewpoints on things. We are wired differently. Whereas like, Emmy, you run marathons. That is amazing. Like, and not just any 26.2. Is that the actual time? Is that the space?
Yes, good
Okay,
job.
good. I did a thing. But like, you do ultra marathons. I, on the other hand, will walk down my stairs every morning and then back up them every evening. And that is it. That's my contribution to the physical world. Now that is something I want to change. I would like to be more physically responsible. But as of right now, that's what we're doing. And then, so beyond that.
I think we do a really good job of, like, I love that I can just speak like myself with you. And I think one of the coolest parts about this podcast is we're bringing our musical brains into a conversation without music.
Exactly.
So we're getting to talk about things that have nothing to do with music, but they're all the underlying currents that make us the teachers, musicians, people that we are.
Right on. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's a huge part of who we are. But I love that. Yeah, we can converse. It's not just music all the time. Mm-hmm. And that's my 9 to 5 and sometimes 9 to 9 or 9 to 11 because that's the career we chose. But so these conversations are just very special to me.
They're cathartic too. It feels good just to be able to unpack things. And I love that you've kind of been through it before because you are a few years older. So it's cool that we share so much in common. But then I can also just say, like, why am I getting so much acne right now? Like,
what was life like in the 80s?
That was made.
Did you really wear neon?
Oh, this was so much fun. I think this was a good first episode. We had some structure, we had some fun, we totally got sidetracked, and we came back.
Yes, that's what I love. That's the way. do all episodes.
I hope whoever is listening right now has arrived at their destination or filled their soul with friends or have prepared to set up whatever goal or idea of their restart, whether it's the first of the year or a Wednesday. I hope that you're doing exactly what you need to be doing.
That's exactly it. Ah, friends, thank you so much for taking us with you. This has been such a treat, and we can't wait to get up to more hijinks with you later on.
We'll see you next time on
Who
the
says
Take Us, you do, Take Us With You podcast.
Woo!